It's summer in the South, and that means that it is dirty motorcycle season. And for me, that means that I need to break out the bucket and my favorite washing materials and get this thing clean. Now, there's a couple of products that I really like. One of them is S100. It is Total Cycle Cleaner. And the beauty of S100 is that I can just spray the whole bike down and then take a lot of water and rinse the thing off, and it's pretty much done. After that, all I've got to do is chamois the bike and then it's clean and ready to go. But once in a while, when it gets really dirty, or if I happen to run out of S100, I break out the other stuff. In this case, I'm using Meguiar's Ultimate Wash and Wax. And the reason that I use a wash and wax in one is because it tends to leave a bit less water spotting than if I just do a car wash. Now, one of the first things that I normally do when I wash my bike is I take the windshield off because I want full access to that front area. However, because the windshield's really dirty right now, I'm going to leave it in place and just let it soak down while I fill up my bucket. Now, while the bucket fills up, there's a couple of things that I want to talk about here. The first of those is that I have leather saddlebags. With leather saddlebags, the difficulty is that I have to take off 3 nuts in order to remove the thing. It's just kind of a pain in the butt. There's no quick release on them out of the factory. I've not bothered to put quick release onto them. So I leave my saddlebags in place unless my bike is just really dirty. If it's really dirty, I'll go ahead and pull them off. Then I can go ahead and get into the swing arm and the rear wheel very well. The other thing that you'll see is that as I'm wiping the bike down and washing the bike down, I try to move from the top of the bike and then go down. And I do my best to avoid the seats and avoid getting water out of the bags. We're going to treat those after the fact, but for right now, all we're going to do is try to avoid getting water all over them. All right, we got our bucket full, and we've got some water that's been sitting on here for a little bit, starting to get things kind of eased off for us a little bit as far as the bugs are concerned. So I'm going to take a first pass at that windshield and get it cleaned off. I use a microfiber cloth to do all of my washing with. There's a lot of great options out there, but basically what you want is something really, really soft, doesn't have any kind of hard seams or edges or hems on it, and you want it to be able to dry really well whenever you're done. Now, the other thing that I actually like about this cloth is that you can see on this side it's nice and soft, and then on this side it's actually a little bit scrubby. So when I get in there and I start working on some of the baked on bugs and stuff, it makes life a little bit easier for me. All right, we've got a first pass done on the windshield, so for now, just going to go ahead and spray it off. And then I'm going to get it out of my way. Now, with the windshield out of the way, the other area that needs a lot of attention is up here on the headlights, the bar that goes across as well, down onto the forks and the fork sliders. All of this area, because it's right out there in the wind, it just gets absolutely plastered with bugs, and it's going to be a little bit of work to get it all cleaned off. So again, I want to work from the high parts of the bike, making sure to get in here on these rings around the headlights. The reason we start at the high part and go to the low part is you don't want to get everything nice and clean down below, then get into a great big bunch of bug guts up here on the top part of the bike and have it washing down all over the part that you just washed off. Another thing that you want to be careful of is this stuff is going to dry pretty quick. You want it to stay nice and wet, and if you see it starting to dry, go ahead and just rinse it off, even if it means you got to come back at a second time. This is also a really good time to check out your forks and look for any signs of fork oil. It'll let you know if you happen to have a busted fork seal. So what you're looking for is right around here, basically wherever this fork would stop moving, you would end up having like a ring of oil that sits around there. And you see that mine are nice and clean, so no worries there. But it's a great opportunity for you to just kind of do some preventative maintenance and some checks on things as you're walking through washing your bike. So the next couple areas that I like to go ahead and get are up in the triple tree and the get into the rake area of the frame, and then I'm going to go ahead and get my dashboard area and get the tank clean as well. So from there, I like to go ahead and get all of my chrome done, because that way once the chrome is done, I don't have to worry about getting back up onto the paint. Now my next area here is a little bit of a pain in the tail for me, because like I said, I do have bags on here that are not detachable, so I've got to do a little bit of stretching and a little bit of cramming with that rag and get it in there to get all of that paint underneath the pillion seat and all the way back down the back fender. Make sure that I get down here, get all these chrome bits washed off as well. Now for the last part here, same rule applies. I'm going to go in, get around the derby cover, get the primary cover, get the oil tank, the horn cover, get the rest of the ignition system, and go for all of my shiny bits first, and then I'll go up for one last pass on any of the black paint area. Then it's time to go through it with a chamois, get this thing nice and dried off so I don't get water spots on it. And there you go, finished product. Well, except for the engine guards that I forgot to dry off. But other than that, finished product, nice and dry. I grabbed myself a artificial chamois because it was cheap, and I found that it worked really, really well. Gets everything nice and shiny, gets all the water spots off, and there you go. So all you need is to get yourself either some cycle cleaner or some combination wash and wax, and then a little bit of water, a little bit of elbow grease, and a chamois. And that's how you wash your bike.